It's okay. Let's start over. Okay. Now, hypothetically, um, I show up at the landfill wearing nothing but a disposable diaper, and I bring all of my diapers that I mean, probably six or seven. Um, what do you call it? How do you weigh? How do you figure your?
We measure the we measure everything. It's by the cubic yard.
Okay, so let's say, uh, say 6 or 7 cubic yards, and I brought my money, the $120 he said would probably cover it. Um, now, I'm dropped off there at the scale house. I get a friend to bring me there,
Like if
and
you have all of that trash, you don't drop that at the scale house. Yeah, that would have to be taken down to where it goes. So we would measure, and you can pay, and then you can be taken down and dropped off there.
okay, but let's just say that the person drops me off there. Okay, let's just say they drop me off because I've seen that happen a couple of times. It on video. Okay, that's happened. So let's say I get dropped off at the scale house, and along with my stuff. How would you guys get me to the scale from the scale house to the tip face?
I don't know because we've never had any trash dumps here at the scale house.
Okay.
That doesn't happen. It's just
Maybe
we
not
just
there.
measure it here and it's taken down.
Okay. Now let's say hypothetically, how does if I convinced a trash truck driver from your area to a front end loader to be able to pick me up and bring me directly to your landfill, and I prearranged it so that um, the truck the truck number, I told you guys the truck number, the company that was bringing me in, um, would they how would that go
Um,
once I arrived there?
they scale. They go on the scale, and it's still the same thing though. They get a ticket and then they go down to the pit.
Okay. And have you ever been to the tip face?
Yeah.
Okay. And when the loads are dumped off, how long would it be till the load is spread out and whatnot?
Not long.
Like as in minutes?
Probably depending on how many loads are there.
Okay. And how long would it be before a layer of dirt is put on?
At a request, you can have it done right away because we have people that request immediate cover for a load, and we do it right then and there.
Okay, so do trash trucks usually get that, or?
No, it's usually trailer loads or specific. It could be a trash truck, but it's usually a specific customer.
Okay, so let's say that there was no. I mean, I was just, you know, brought there by front end loader, and I I have written permission. I'd have to have written permission to show them, so that they would say, "Yep, okay, you got the written permission." Then we'll just make the arrangements. You can get into any of our any dumpster along our route, and then they'll bring me to the landfill, and then once I'm dumped out there, would anybody care what I'm wearing? Like if I were wearing nothing but a disposable diaper, for instance?
I don't know because I wouldn't see that, and I don't know those guys. It might bother those guys. I don't know. You'd have to ask those guys.
Okay. Now, usually it's just spread out, right? And then at the end of the day, everything's covered?
That's for normal trash.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the potential for me to be just laying out there. If I were still alive, for instance, I would just be laying out there on the ground until the dirt was brought over to cover, right?
Um, I don't know.
I'm thinking hypotheticals. I'm just trying to put together what to expect.
Well, I couldn't imagine the guys being able to. I don't think they would be able to handle that.
Okay, could I make special arrangements just to be treated just like regular trash and could I do that?
Well, it would be my suggestion to be a special load and have immediate cover.
Okay, I wouldn't want that though. I'd want to have the ability to just lay there if I wanted to. I know that sounds weird, but I'd want to just go through whatever procedure. I don't want any special anything. I just want to be treated just like the regular garbage or whatever. I know this is strange.
Well, okay, so this is a scenario. Animals we cover right away.
Okay.
So you could consider yourself trash or like more like an animal?
I would consider myself more like trash if I came in a trash truck or in somebody's load.
No, well, I don't know. I don't know. That's really that's hard for me to answer.
Okay.
I don't know.
Now, in the hypothetical, if you saw me in a load that somebody brought, like just laying on top of the diapers in the back of somebody's pickup truck or in a trailer, and you saw me wearing nothing but diapers, would that bother you?
It would bother me that you were there, yes.
And
it doesn't matter what you're wearing. It would bother me, period.
why is that?
Because you're a person.
Okay, but horses are animals, and they have feelings too. Think about that.
They don't come here as a person, though. It's not easy for an animal, but that's okay. I mean, that's at least they have a place to go.
Yeah.
But the person, no, I would not be careful. I would not be okay with that. People are very different than animals to me.
People are animals. They're mammals.
They're different. They're different than animals.
Correct, but we're not top of the food chain, so to speak. The world is people are disposable. I'm going to let you know that because the government sees us as most of us regular folk as disposable. Okay,
well,
that's true.
And they might see that, but that's fine. But that's not how I feel. So
I understand.
That would bother me a lot.
And I'm sorry to hear that, but I would just want you to know that I'm not trying to bother you at all. But if I showed up there, and I'm going to probably, and I know that's going to bother you, but how would you go through the procedures?
I don't know. I can't answer that.
Or would you get somebody else to do it?
I kind of need to process this a little bit because this is really different and strange for me.
It is. But I know that you're a Christian. I understand that, and I'm not. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
bad for you.
well, I don't feel bad for me. My IQ is 156. Documented. Now, that's really high. All right? Mm-hmm. And I'm a private investigator and a music producer and a story writer. I have done lots of research on this and found that it's perfectly legal to do all this. Okay? I've called all the agencies. I've called the EPA. I've called the Colorado Department of Human Health and Environment. I've talked to Karen. I've talked to lots of commissioners. Okay? Mm-hmm. And the fact that it's perfectly legal doesn't make it, most of the laws were created because it was a moral issue. Okay? A lot of people didn't like the idea. And humans generally have a high opinion of themselves and a survival tactic, Mm-hmm. And so basically, they want to be buried in a graveyard and revered and remembered and all that stuff. I do not. Okay, when I'm done with my body, I don't want to be incinerated. Okay, that's hard on the soul. Okay, I found that to be true. I do not wish to be put in a. I don't want, and the reason I'm trying to avoid the funeral industry is because of the cost and the fact that they won't respect my wishes, because they said that when I did have a religion, I was a Wiccan. They wouldn't respect that. I said, okay, screw you all. I'll find a loophole and bypass y'all. And they said, oh, that probably won't happen. They're all arrogant and cocky. So I called 20 of the funeral homes, and they all say the same damn thing. And it pissed me off. So I'm avoiding them by being accepted as waste at a landfill, because the truth of the matter is that if you accept a horse, a cow, a cat, a dog, a cockroach, anything that used to be alive, then the earth can't tell the difference, and it doesn't have the morality, and it doesn't care. Truthfully, the only things that do care are the human beings that work that industry. Okay? That's the truth. Right? Okay. Well, scientifically, the earth cannot tell a difference between one type of flesh and another. And it's going to treat the same it's going to do the same thing to a horse that it would do to a human being. And that itself should be the facts that are held dear. Okay? Science overruns and takes precedence.
So can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't you just go off up into the mountains or something and
Nope.
find a space and do that?
I've looked into that possibility, and I don't like the idea. Nope.
Why is that?
Because I don't want to buy a gravestone, because they require that, and that's expensive. I'm on a fixed income, okay? And I'm disabled. I don't have the money to buy gravestones and pay for over $1,000 to some landowner to bury me there. They all want a large amount of money. They're greedy.
No, I'm not saying being buried. I'm just saying just go up there and pass away there.
Well, that's the point. Then somebody would find me, and I've also been offered, why don't you put your body in a body farm? Hell with that. I'm not interested in that either. So my specific wishes are to be buried in a landfill. The reason is because of the cost and the fact that I don't have to buy a gravestone. And the fact is, when you die, it's the memory that you have of that person. The memories in your own mind are the only thing that matter. Okay? The happy memories. That's all that matter. Nothing else matters. How your body was treated afterwards, none of that matters. Okay? None of it matters. I'm not saying that I'm trash. I'm not saying that, nor am I implying it. What I'm saying is that it's convenient, okay? And it's a loophole in the funeral system. I would rather have, the ability to be able to just be buried at some trash landfill than some, grave or something somewhere, okay? Because, truthfully, my body, without being cut, without having the organs moved and put in bags and do all this stupid, just worthless stuff that at a cost that's ridiculous, I would rather just be buried the way I am. And if I cannot have that by law any other way. Okay? I've researched it. I've gone through 4 years of research, and this is the result of it. Okay? So I just want you to know that I would rather just be done with it, and even if I walked in there alive, I would say, okay, as a walk-in, if I drove myself there and said, all right, that's probably what's going to happen. I'm probably going to end up driving myself there. I would donate my vehicle to your landfill for use for whatever reason, okay? And any one of you can have it. I don't have anyone to give it to that would want it. And so I just say, here, take it. And then I would be stuck there at the gatehouse or the scale house or whatever. So I would just have a, bucket loader come over. I'd load the bucket loader full of my stuff, and then you guys would drop it off at the tip face, or have one of the pickup trucks load it up and drop me off there. It'd be all right. You just got to get with it. It's going to take some time, but I want you to be prepared for this, because I'm going to try to make this happen. All right, it's your landfill. I want to be buried at your landfill. Okay, and I'm if I come in there alive, you guys just gotta say okay, and then I pay my fee, my $120, and the state will cover that, I think, or part of it, and what they don't, I'll cover. All right, the state covers it. There's a DHS program that allows me to be buried on private property, and that includes a landfill if I get permission. So the DHS will cover that. It's a $120 fee. It's for the indigent, okay? And I can have that covered ahead of time so that there's a prior arrangement.
Okay.
All right, so you can check into that, and you can call the DHS office if you want and ask them if there's a private burial program for the indigent, that for the poor people, and on private property. And they'll say, yes, there is a program, and they will pay up to, I think, $500 or $1,000 or something like that. But I don't even know if it's that amount. I mean, I heard it, but I have to verify it. It's unverified. So maybe it's like a flat rate fee of like $200 or something. So and Social Security pays $250, okay, for burial plans. So I could have it covered under that if I wanted to. Okay? Those are the programs I know of. So I could cover that. Now, to be transported there in a front end loader, I'd have to have the Social Security fee, and then I'd have to have the DHS fee. See what I mean? I'd have to have both of those cover my fees. So that's all I have to work with. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So because of cost, I have no choice in this matter. And I've decided that if I had no choice in the cost, I'd have to find something that was viable for that cost. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the most sanitary way to do it. So it's logical. So science and logic are the ones that take precedence here. Okay?
Okay.
So it's not a moral issue. Okay? So we need to put that aside. Okay? This isn't a morality issue.
Okay.
So my question is, if I arrived there and I drove myself there and needed a ride up to the tip face, how would you guys get me there?
I don't know.
Do you have a pickup truck?
I don't know what they would do. It would be a guy. I don't deal with that. So.
Okay. I'm going to ask the director, or was that was the director, right, that I talked to, right?
The manager, yeah.
Manager. Okay, what was his name?
Jim.
Jim, what's his last name?
Claire.
Jim Clare.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just have to know that because when I call again, I need to know his name.
Okay.
All right. Now, so I'm going to throw some hypotheticals at him later on. Just let him know that I'm probably going to call him tomorrow. I've got a couple of hypotheticals I've got to write down and come at him with some questions. Okay?
Okay.
All right. And I'll call Karen and a few other people as well. All right?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
Big ABA Productions 2025.